So the problem with this cooling system are many. The radiator cap wasn't sealing tight, so it wouldn't hold any pressure. The front cylinder water pipe was leaking during the pressure test there. I went ahead and ordered a new thermostat, and I'm going to be replacing that. I ordered all thermostat O-rings because I know they're old and I know they're probably really brittle and just used up and hard, so I'm going to replace all of those. I also ordered 2 of these water pipe O-rings, and that's because I'm going to also replace the other side too on the rear cylinder. Just because I'm here, and why not make the whole top end water hoses new. So that's what we're going to do. I have already removed the gas tank. That's something you're going to have to do. You have 2 bolts up front here to get those off, and then 1 bolt back here to get that off, and then you have a couple of fuel lines on this side going to the petcock, and you have the vacuum hose, of course, goes to the bottom of the petcock, and then you also have this lead right here for the fuel level gauge. So you'll go ahead and pull all that off, and then pull the gas tank off, set it in a safe place. I set mine over here so that it doesn't get damaged. And then you come back over here, and you want to drain the coolant system, which I have already done. You just release the cap on the reservoir to the radiator, and you drain it all out through this 12 millimeter bolt down here, and it should come out. I haven't drained the reservoir yet. I will do that, but that is where I am at to this point. So let's begin disassembling all the top end components of the radiator system, or the cooling system, and taking this thermostat housing completely apart, rebuilding it with new seals, and then we'll go on to the water pipes. Start by loosening all your hose clamps. You have one up here. Okay, you have one at the back of the thermostat housing. And then you have one right behind the frame at the back of the thermostat housing. You have one at the bottom of the water pipe here, but yeah, I'll just go ahead and loosen that one just in case. Okay, and then I'll get that one on the other side, that water pipe. I'm not going to loosen that one. I don't think I'll need to. And what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this, pull this 10 millimeter bolt off. This should just come on out. You want to pull this hose on the back of it off first. Okay, then pull this hose off. Actually, it probably would have been brighter to do it before you took this bolt completely out, just so you have more leverage working. So these hoses get kind of stuck. I have to get a screwdriver in there to help you out, help break the seal. Let's go ahead and pull this water pipe off. You got an 8mm bolt back in here. And on most of these Vulcan 750s, you're going to have the airbox boots protecting the carb. And since I don't, I pulled the airbox out and mounted K&N filters on it. So I'm just going to stuff a rag down in there to keep debris from entering the carburetor while I'm tugging and pulling on this. And then you just lift up and out, and there it comes. And it's just absolutely filthy. I'm gonna have to clean it up. And this O-ring is flat on one side and round on the other. So you can tell that it was definitely a problem. So we'll clean that up and get it back in there. Alright, now we're gonna pull this thermostat housing off. Pull the sensor. The temperature sensor line off. Time to remove this bolt completely. Let's try and get this. Now we'll take this apart. Okay, we have all of this side off now. I'm going to go around. I'm going to go around this side, and we'll take this off just like we did the right side. We'll pull it out, replace that O-ring, and put it all back together, and then we'll run her and do another pressure test on it before we run it, and see if that fixes our problem. So I'm going through and replacing old seals. I'm ready to put the thermostat back into the housing, but on this thermostat, there's a hole, okay? Where does it go? Because you think that hole is very deliberate in where it's supposed to set. So you have the air bleeder up here, and if you're ever in question of how it gets put back together, just check your service manual, and that's exactly what I did. So it goes in here, and you line it up with that air bleeder. So it needs to be at the top. And then you put all your O-rings back in and your cap and screw it back down. I found a little bit of lubricant on these hoses, made them go back on a lot easier. I ended up draining the reservoir by using this siphon pump. And went a lot easier. I just connected it to this hose and adapted the pipe to fit what I needed it to with another piece of hose, and it worked very well. And I topped it all off. I cracked the bleeders to right here with this 10mm wrench and bled all the air out of it. Got it filled up, pressure tested it. And got no leaks out of the system, so it's ready to be it's ready for the gas tank, and it's ready to be fired up and test ran. So okay, it's all put back together, and what I did was I put some water in the system, bled it off, and then took it for a ride, got it nice and hot, and let that water circulate through there, and made sure there was no leaks. And then I'm going to replace the water with the proper mixture of antifreeze, and so I did the water first just to get a good flush on it, and get all that dirt and debris out of the system. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and put antifreeze in it now. So that basically does it for this repair. It was fairly simple. You just got to go through and make sure that you test all the components, make sure that they're working, and if they're not, replace them. Otherwise, you'll just be wasting money on antifreeze and time trying to hunt down all these different cooling system problems.